Welcome to Tabo Eminent Channel. The story of a lost Viking city captures imagination not just for its archaeological intrigue, but for its blend of myth, history, and cutting-edge discovery. While several Viking settlements have been rediscovered over time, one of the most mysterious is Uppsala in southern Sweden, once a major political and religious center, now largely forgotten until rediscovered by modern science. But other candidates, including lost settlements in North America, also fuel the legend of a vanished Viking city. Thanks for watching. Request you to subscribe the channel. For centuries, tales have whispered of a great Viking city, a place of towering wooden halls, bustling markets, and sacred temples where Norse gods were once worshipped. This city, said to have flourished during the height of the Viking Age, mysteriously vanished from memory. Its name was lost to time, its streets buried beneath centuries of soil, and its existence doubted by skeptics. But legends persisted. Norse sagas spoke of cities rich with trade and gold, where chieftains ruled and longships arrived from distant coasts. For archaeologists and historians, the quest to uncover this forgotten metropolis became a journey between myth and science. One of the strongest candidates for this lost city lies in the quiet fields of southern Sweden. Near the modern city of Lund, archaeologists uncovered the remains of Uppsala, once the largest Iron Age settlement in Scandinavia. From around the 1st century BCE to 1000 AD, Uppsala thrived as a political and religious center. But for reasons still unclear, it was abandoned, its significance forgotten as the city of Lund rose nearby. Only in the late 20th century did scientists rediscover its foundations. As they dug through layers of earth, they unearthed over 28,000 artifacts, ceremonial objects, coins from distant lands, and the remains of a great temple. Suddenly, the lost city was no longer a myth, it had been hidden in plain sight. Further south, in what is now northern Germany, lies Hedeby, another candidate for a lost Viking city. Once a bustling trade hub that connected Scandinavia with the rest of Europe, Hedeby was burned and abandoned during violent conflicts in the 11th century. Its charred ruins were left to the elements until archaeologists uncovered its buried secrets. What they found was astonishing: remains of workshops, homes, fortifications, and a port that handled goods from as far as the Middle East. Like Uppsala, Hedeby revealed how advanced Viking civilization truly was, far beyond the raiding warrior stereotype. Yet perhaps the most mysterious of all is Vinland, a land described in Norse sagas as lying far to the west, rich in timber, grapes, and untouched soil. For centuries, scholars debated whether the Vikings had truly crossed the Atlantic. Then, in 1960, researchers discovered Lance O Meadows on the northern tip of Newfoundland in Canada. The site contained unmistakable Viking longhouses, iron tools, and evidence of short-term settlement dating to around 1000 AD. But Vinland, as described in the sagas, seemed larger and more fertile. Was Lance O Meadows just an outpost? Could the true Viking city in the New World still lie hidden somewhere inland, waiting to be found? Technology now fuels this ancient mystery with modern fire. Ground-penetrating radar scans farmlands and coastlines, revealing buried structures without a single shovel's touch. Satellite imagery highlights patterns in the earth that hint at forgotten walls and roads. Genetic analysis of bones reveals where settlers may have come from, and where they may have gone. Artificial intelligence models trade networks and migration patterns. With every scan and survey, scientists come closer to mapping the full Viking world, city by city, shoreline by shoreline. But why were these cities lost in the first place? Some blame the cooling climate of the Little Ice Age, which strained agriculture and cut trade routes. Others point to the rise of centralized kingdoms that absorbed or crushed independent Viking settlements. Religious transformation also played a role, as pagan sacred sites fell out of use with the spread of Christianity. In some cases, cities simply moved, their original locations abandoned and built over. Today, as researchers dig deeper, both literally and figuratively, the mystery of the lost Viking city becomes less about a single place and more about a lost chapter of human history. The Vikings were not only raiders and warriors, but also explorers, merchants, craftsmen, and builders of cities that rivaled those of continental Europe. Each new discovery pulls another thread from the tapestry of legend, revealing a civilization far more complex and connected than ever imagined. And somewhere, perhaps still buried beneath forest or farmland, the last great Viking city waits, silent, lost, and ready to be rediscovered. In the cold mists of Scandinavia, where long winters bite the earth and the northern lights dance above fjords, the Vikings carved their world with iron and fire. They were more than warriors, they were sailors, settlers, and seekers of new lands. And among them, there was once said to be a great city, unmatched in its power and sacred in its purpose. Some called it the heart of the Norse world, a place where jarls gathered under gilded roofs, where oaths were sworn to Odin, and where ships from distant shores unloaded silks, spices, and silver. But the city faded from memory, not in fire or battle, but in silence. It vanished, leaving behind no name in the histories, only scattered clues buried in soil and saga. Generations passed. Fields were plowed where once streets had stood, and wild grass grew over temple stones. Local legends, passed down by farmers and shepherds, spoke of the old place, a spot where iron tools would sometimes surface after the rain, or where children found strange gold trinkets in the dirt. These stories were dismissed for centuries, until one day, a team of archaeologists followed a lead in southern Sweden, near a quiet village called Uppåkra. What they found changed everything. At first, it was just pottery shards and rusted nails. But as they dug deeper, the outline of long-forgotten buildings emerged, grand halls, a religious temple, and vast workshop areas. Buried beneath 1,000 years of earth, Uppåkra revealed itself to be not a village, but a sprawling city that had once dominated the region. Artifacts poured from the soil, a tiny gold foil depicting a man and woman in ceremonial embrace, glass beads from the south, and a bronze staff shaped like a serpent, perhaps once held by a high priest. The city had not been erased, only forgotten. And now, it whispered its story once more. And so the search continues, in Sweden's quiet fields, in Germany's muddy rivers, and along the misty coasts of Newfoundland. Somewhere, beneath earth and time, the last great Viking city may still slumber, waiting to rise once more into the light.